It's Sunday afternoon at Silverstone. It's round 2 of the FIA GT3 European Championship, and they're lining up on the grid with, once again, a Morgan in pole position, but it's a different one. Today it's the 101 car, put there by Maxime Martin. Second place goes to the original GT3 champion, Sean Edwards, in the number 19 Porsche. And behind him is the Corvette we saw in race 1 of Diego Alessi. His turn to start the race today rather than take over when the tyres are shot. And that's his co-driver there, Luca Perry, saying, please don't do that to the tyres like I did yesterday. Formation lap, 1 hour race, compulsory pit stops, driver changes, everything to play for. The pace car has pulled off. They're rolling round onto the start-finish line. If the starter is satisfied that all is in order, he turns the light green and round 2 is underway. Can the Morgan keep the Porsche behind it today? Can he keep the Corvette behind it? Well, Diego Alessi is right alongside Sean Edwards going into turn 1. Edwards so keen to get past the pole man that I think he let the Corvette slip through, side by side, running down the hill towards Maggots, and it's Morgan, Corvette, Porsche, Ford GT, Aston Martin on board with Rodriguez in the Aston Martin at the tail end of that little crew. And the Morgan already making its escape as Sean Edwards is stuck behind Diego Alessi in the Corvette, and he's about to get jumped. He certainly is, going into the right-hander at the bottom of the hill. Dino Lunardi through on the inside at Stowe. Edwards out of position there, left the door open, and through went the Ford GT. Remember, they were the class of the field last year, just missed out on the title at the final round after being so heavily penalised with success ballast throughout the year. Look at the gap that Morgan has got now, just easing away from the rest of the field. They're all having their little battles. There's the surviving Zach Speed Viper, and that Sasha Burt going up the inside of yesterday's winner in his haste to get on with this one. Just settling down a little bit. Maxime Martin, your race leader then. Alessi in second, has now got Lunardi in third place, getting very aggressive. Sean Edwards wants that place back as well. Up the inside, there's a little touch, or is there? Did Dino Lunardi just lose the back end there, or was there contact? There's not a mark on the Porsche, and I think Lunardi might just have let it slip away from him. He was rather wide there, invited Edwards alongside, and then couldn't turn in, and I think that's what cost him. So Edwards gets the plate. Everybody's gone past him in that spin now. That's Sasha Burt in the Viper, and Lunardi wide at the exit of Woodcote. But there's no problem for Maxime Martin in the lead. Alessi in second place. Edwards is in third place. And behind that, it's Rodriguez in the Aston Martin. And Thomas Much behind that, the survivor for Ford GT. Much, one of the 2 drivers in with a shout at the title last year. And this is more activity midfield. That's the other Porsche. Tim Bergmeister making his way past a sea of Ferraris there. Stefano Gattuso was the last one in number 8 to get gobbled up there. And there's been a lot of shuffling going on since they qualified and started the other way round. So Bergmeister just redressing that one. That's the CRS Ferrari, the number 56 car. Phil Grove just in front of Lunardi in the Ford GT, now recovering. Callaway cars side by side in the pack. Wolfgang Kaufmann and Jürgen von Gartzen. And a glimpse of the Alpina BMW just behind them. Haven't seen much of BMW during this race. Oh, and that's another one that we didn't want to see. That's the Pierre Bryce Menor car, and that's the number 9 Aston Martin of Marcello Zani in the gravel. Well, he's the team boss, so he can't get into any trouble for that. Sasha Burt in the Viper being persecuted by Thomas Much. American muscle, Blaze American muscle. Oh, and they touched there. That was pretty much inevitable, I think. They've been running close together and both of them have paid the price. The left front of the Ford GT tagged the Viper. Watch it again. Much sold him the dummy, brilliantly coming into Stowe, dived to the other side, and he sold it too well. Sasha Burt had absolutely no idea. Took his normal line and it was full up with Ford GT. And that's the number one. Morgan in the pits getting cold air blown into the engine, which isn't right, really. And that's not right at all. Let's see what... Oh, dear, what happened there? And that Porsche just mounted the back end of the 29 Ford GT. Running into Copse, forgot that he had to brake to make the turn and just ran out of road and had nowhere to go. Pit lane very busy indeed now. Here comes the race leader. This is 101. Maxime Martin handing over to Gaël Lesudier. Sean Edwards handing the 19 Porsche over to Oliver Morley. There is just no excuse for that. Absolutely no excuse, but luckily both drivers perfectly okay. Very big accident at high speed. Let's see now, after the pit stops, Oliver Morley is about to become fodder for that Audi, looking so aggressive behind it. Sean Edwards, the quicker of the two, qualified much further ahead than Oliver Morley, and now you can see that the Audi has got the legs of its rival. These two cars, of course, created in a similar vein. The Audi specifically designed to take on the 911, and that is the result. Christopher Haas, as you can see, back behind the wheel of the Phoenix car, and we saw him in action in round one, looking very strong indeed. And the Audi looking, oh dear, looking so well planted, and that isn't Leonardo Maddalena. His turn to spin the number 9 car, and just lost it all by himself. Well, yes, it was all going wrong coming out of the previous corner, wasn't it? The back had gone and he couldn't just get it gathered up and turn. Morley all over the grass as he gets jumped by Thomas Ackery, or tries to get jumped. Ackery, the quicker of the two Aston Martin drivers in this number 3 car, and there it is. And I think you just saw the Audi at the bottom of the picture also get a pass. I think that was Christopher Mees passing Rodriguez in the number 4 car. So 2 overtaking manoeuvres in the same picture. Lloyd Lamarca has called it a day, and I don't know whether he's parked it there or whether something's gone wrong with that car. It's just on the infield. And look at the pace of this Audi. Luca Piri in the 17 Corvette simply doesn't have an answer. And once again, the Audi coming on strong towards the end of the race. We saw exactly this yesterday. Then we saw that run halted. There's a replay of that very neat pass, and it was just done on power, wasn't it? And then a little bit later on the brakes, got it stopped and turned, and that's Thomas Ackery in the Aston Martin. That shouldn't be stopped or turned. He's had a little moment and now rejoins. That's going to cost him a place. Here's the race leader on his last lap. Gaël Lesudier is going to make it 2 in a row for Morgan. What about that? 2 poles, 2 race wins. It couldn't be much better for the local team. Well, it's a French team, but the car's made just up the road in Worcester at Malvern Link. There's the checkered flag. And Morgan indeed does the double at Silverstone. And look, Ackery caught by Nicholas Armindo and lets him through, recovering after his spin. It sounded a little bit clunky when he came back on track, and he may have a problem, but he's just dropped a place there as they go over the line. Confirmation of a double podium for Audi in their second race, and confirmation too that Morgan and Auto GT Racing have done it again. 2 pole positions, 2 wins.
Congratulations, Gaël. You certainly both fought hard to maintain that front position.
Yes. Maxime took a good start. He pushed a lot, and I have to keep the car, to keep the tires, because it was very hard on the front of the car.
Champagne time once again for Morgan, but despite a double success here at Silverstone, the wins were split between the 2 cars, and that means that the points table isn't quite so appealing. They are tied together at the top with Hexis Aston Martin. It'll be closer still when we go to Adria next time. For the first time ever, there'll be success ballast on the